In the gospel text of today, we will hear about the feeding of the 4,000 with 7 loaves and 2 fish, in which 7 baskets are gathered. It is found only in Matthew and in Mark, and is generally regarded as a Gentile feeding, as a feeding for humanity. Even though it is less abundant than the earlier feeding, where 5,000 are fed with only 5 loaves and 2 fish and 12 baskets are gathered, this one, nevertheless, is a feeding miracle. The scene is that the people have been with Jesus, that the people have been hanging on the words of Jesus, and now Jesus realizes that he needs not only to give them theory, he needs to be practical with the people. And so he tells his disciples that they have to make arrangements to feed the people. And the disciples are surprised, because they do not know where they are going to get so many provisions from to feed this 4,000 crowd. But Jesus is aware of what is going to happen. And Jesus asks them to bring even their meager resources. And they bring their meager resources to Jesus. And Jesus says the blessing, he gives thanks to his Father, and he asks his disciples with confidence to give the bread and the fish to the people. With 7 loaves and a few fish, 4,000 people are fed, and 7 baskets are gathered after the people have eaten their fill. There are a number of interpretations to this miracle. One interpretation is that this miracle really took place and that Jesus was able to do it because Jesus was God. Another interpretation is that Jesus took his resources and began to share them with others. Others, seeing him sharing, were also motivated to share, and so everyone shared, and there was enough and more. A third interpretation is that the numbers are exaggerated with regard to the number of people that may have been there. They may have been around 400 people, and they may have been about 40 or so loaves, and so the people were able to share even if they were not able to eat their fill. No matter how we might interpret the miracle, there are 3 points which the miracle makes to us. And the first is this, that the concern of Jesus was a practical concern. Jesus was concerned with the spiritual life of the person, but he was also concerned with the practical aspects like physical hunger and the provision of food. And that is why, even though Jesus will teach them God's way, even though Jesus will preach the kingdom, Jesus will also provide food for their journey. The second point is that Jesus had faith even before the 4,000 could be fed. He never doubted for a moment that it was possible. He had confidence both in himself and faith in God. And because of his faith in God, what he believed happened. He believed before it happened, and it did. And the third point is that we must take to the Lord our meager resources. If we are generous with the Lord, with whatever we have, even though we think they are meager, the Lord can transform it. The Lord can multiply it. The Lord can make it available to the whole world. And so we ask ourselves whether our approach to life is a life of faith. Whether we believe like Jesus did, whether we have confidence in ourselves that we are able to accomplish, and faith in God that God will accomplish through us. will I take my resources, no matter how meager I might think they are, to the Lord, confident that the Lord will multiply it not only for me, but that I might share it with others.